Hello, 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 everybody. It is your baby boomer, Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, back with another Create and Relate, and this is Show Off Saturday. Yay! So, what I do today is show you everything that I have done. Always forget that part. I'm so sorry. But show you everything that I've done throughout this week. Whew, and that's going to be hard to do because a lot of what I've done is not here. But I'm grateful that I had been showing it throughout the week. So at least you did get a chance to see it. And if you didn't, always go back and catch the replay. They'll all be showing there. So let us start with the welcoming. Everybody's welcome in. Please make sure you hit those thummies. Share the video with your friends. Subscribe. When you do subscribe, hit that bell with the dimple so you always know when I'm dropping fresh new content. And let's see, like, share, subscribe. I think I covered those. Okay, you know that we're on this race to get to 500 subscribers, as we are at 487. 487. We have 13 to go. 13. Yay! I'm excited. I was telling my daughter last night, I said, we're at 484. And I pulled it up to show it to her. And as I turned it around to show it to her, it was at 486. I'm like, yes! And our watch hours, guys, our watch hours are over 1,800. So we have less than 1,200 to go. Less than 1,200 to go. It's amazing watching these numbers go up. It really, really is. Okay, now we're going into the sips portion. Like, what are we sipping on? We already know. Your girl is already down 2 of these today. So I'm doing great. I am on target with that. And I had breakfast. Yes, I did. I made breakfast for the kids. I washed dishes. We ordered groceries. The groceries came in on time and we got those put away. We had a little snack. And I am sipping on my coffee, guys. This is the first time I had coffee in 3 days. First time in 3 days. Not that we didn't have any. We've had the coffee. It's not that I didn't have the desire. It's kind of like I wanted to kind of purge my system a little bit, you know? So I'm enjoying that super hot coffee. This face is because it's very hot. It's very, very, very hot. Usually I made this at around 11:30. So 2 hours ago. And I'm still like barely sipping because it's that hot. So this cup does well to hold in the heat. I'm excited about that. One of the things that I did order in my grocery today was a root beer. And for those of you who don't know, root beer is my favorite soda. So good. Okay, now we're moving on to senses. And we're only 4 minutes in. My mood today is a 9.5. Very happy, very elated. I'm going to have to put my health at 9. It's high. But the only reason I'm not giving it a 9.5 or higher is because of the arthritic pain. And I'm moving kind of slow. I'm kind of shuttling along. But I am able to get up and, up and about. So I'm excited about that. I have to keep that at 9. And one of the reasons for the arthritic pain being so high is we woke up this morning to bright, bright sunshine, and it looked extra light outside because we had a dusting of snow on the ground. Notice I said a dusting. And I went to the store first thing this morning. So as I'm traveling on my scooter, it's really, really windy. So all you see is swirls of snow. You know, you thinking the snow is coming down. It's like, no, the snow has already fallen. This is the dusting being blown up by the wind. So that is where we are there. Now, speaking of our Taco Tuesday, yay! 4 challenges for this week. One is the ongoing seasonal challenge, which is scraps and stash. Ooh, scraps and straps. Scraps and stash. And that's to use up as much of your scraps as possible and go through your stash. Okay? Y'all help me out with that. I'm trying to stop saying okay. That's very country of me, and I don't know where or when it resurfaced. Maybe I've been doing it all along and I'm just paying attention to it. I don't know. But I'm trying to stop that. Okay. Oh, I didn't tell you the overall mood. The overall mood I'd probably put at like a 9.25. That's being fair. Okay, so the second thing that I wanted to remind you of is the Carpenter's Wheel Challenge. Oh, I didn't tell you. Taco Tuesdays is on Juan the Yarn Addict's channel. It's Taco Tuesday on one Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday, it's Let's Talk Stitches. This Taco Tuesday coming up will be the last Taco Tuesday for this season. So, jump in on the fun. I didn't finish telling you the challenges. One was to bust your stash and your scraps. The second was to crochet 5 minutes a day. And then it was crochet a heart pillow. Didn't matter what size, didn't matter what color. It's all up to you. And then the last was placemat set. Make a placemat set consisting of 2 or more placemats. I am going through my scraps and my stash. That part is no problem. Crochet 5 minutes a day. Y'all know me. I do at least 5 hours a day. So I'm getting that done. I have not made my heart. In my mind, it's very simple. If I decide to do it, then I'm sure I can get it done by Tuesday. But I have, however, I did not do the rainbow placemats. I decided to do the filled-in granny squares, and I'm going to do 2 of these in brown because I have young babies, and they need to see all the crumbs that they drop. They have their own chores and responsibilities. They know that they have to clean up after themselves, and I think this will be much easier for them to just pick this up, shake it over the trash can, and put it back in place, as opposed to having to go through our Lysol and Clorox wipes and wipe everything down. They're still going to have to do that because I want it sanitized. But, you know, it's not like they have to scrub stains and stuff off. They'll have that as a buffer. And the next challenge that I participate in is the Carpenter's Wheel from Yes Michelle Crochets. And yesterday I did not get to work on my squares at all. Yesterday it was an on again, off again day as far as sleep was concerned. But I was able to get those tutorials done and out to you all. I hope you all saw them. As I say in the description box of each one of those tutorials, if you need any additional help, please don't hesitate to either comment or email me. I say email me in the description box. That way I can really reach out and we can do something one-on-one. And I'm more than happy to help. It did come to my attention, speaking of that, I got a comment that said that my videos weren't tutorials. This particular video, they couldn't see what I was doing and I was going too fast. I try to tell you the stitches that I'm using. And I apologize for it being an assumption of mine that you know those stitches. But my tutorials are based on projects and not stitches. There are massive amount of tutorials out here that go through stitches. I teach elements and projects, or I show elements and projects, and I show you how to achieve those. And what I'm showing you is, I'll tell you, this is double crochet like this one. This is double crochets and half double crochets. And I say that in the beginning. And I'll also show you the stitch. I'll show you how to build a double crochet. Now, the one particular video that she was speaking of, someone else reached out to me about it. And I did put out a second video for that. So thank you very much for pointing that out to me and making me get on my ball, get on the ball a little better. I appreciate that. Okay, like I said, the Carpenter's wheel, I was not able to work on it yesterday because my main focus was getting those videos out. My second focus was sleep. My third focus was working on things that I wanted to present to you all on the channel today. So, the Stitcherhood donation blanket. They are being presented by Camille's Creations. Excuse me, I do have that information in the description box. Excuse me. And if you go to her channel and look in her playlist, you'll see the one of the lives that specifically states that it's about the Stitcherhood blanket. Anything you want to know about it, she has all the answers. This is her baby. Another good source to go to is Lori of Lori Stories and Crochet. That's another good source to go to because Lori is very knowledgeable of it as well. And Helix, I believe. I know that I'm subscribed to her channel and I know that I've popped in a few times, but I'm not that familiar with her. But I do know that the three of them together can tell you anything that you need to know if you want to get in on that challenge. And it's not too late. They're doing this quarterly. So it's not, it's not too late at all. The next one I decided to jump in on was the Blanche. And this one is being put out by Jax. Every Wednesday, she is showing you tutorials about how to create this beautiful Blanche. And it is a blanket that she has elected to turn into, okay, yeah, this is the right side, to turn into a poncho. Now, y'all know me, just as I told you Thursday. I'm a bit of a radical. I'm a bit of a rebel, okay? So mine is, of course, done differently, probably until we get down to the design elements. And then I'll start following it then. The pattern that's offered is free. I'll try to remember to go back and put that in the description box. But if not, you can go check out Jax and Mama Swift, and you can get that link through them as well. That's another way that you can hone up on your reading graph skills because it is a graph. And I have not looked far enough down to see if it's written as well. I'm pretty sure it is. Lots of people nowadays are putting out graphs and written. And I didn't scroll, and I know it's a lot of pages, and I'm sure all of them are not graph. So you can check that out. The last challenge that I like to mention to you all is the Make 9. What Auntie Setta does is at the beginning of the year, she chooses 9 projects that she wants to make throughout the year. And then she proceeds to make as many of those as she can, along with her other crocheting. You know how we do as crafters. ideas and stuff pop in our head. And when you look up, you got these 9 things that you want to do, but you got 29 things that you're working on. So yeah, that's why I say, you know, she sees how many she can make, but she makes as many as she can. Okay, we're going to roll right on along into the Showtime section. Hi, Michael. How are you? It's so good to see you here. Mwah, mwah, mwah. My 7-inch square progress. Okay, what I did was put out those videos last night for 2 of the squares, and it was the gated garden. And here again, this one is all double crochet. You got, you know, a little bit of back post double crochets in there, but it's all double crochet. And I'm going to show you the piece that I'm working on. And this is a double thing. I showed you how to do what I call shells by the bay. And you can do it in square. I was doing the tutorial in the size of the square. Thank you. I was doing the tutorial in the size of the square, which is 20, I believe 20, no, it's 24 half double crochet foundation row, or 25 chains, 24 half double crochet to create your stabilizing row. And then from there, it's nothing but double crochets and half double crochets. The only thing that makes it look complicated is in the top of your second double crochet, you're going to create a cluster within the top of that second double crochet. And it's not hard at all. You can go check that video out. It dropped, I think, in the wee hours of the morning. By the time it finally stopped rotating the wheel, whoo! And but as I say in all of my tutorials, if you need any help at all, please don't hesitate to email me, drop a comment in the comment section. If you follow me on Facebook, message me. If you follow me on Instagram, DM me. If you follow me on TikTok, leave me a message. Just let me know. And I'm more than happy to reach out to you. So jumping into the next thing that I am currently working on, I started last night working on my Stitcherhood donation blanket. Does anybody recognize this yarn? I'll give you a cookie. Of course, it is Red Heart, the flower all-in-one power, or the all-in-one flower power, however you choose to say it. This is what I'm using. The pattern that I'm using for it, or the sequence that I'm using, is 5-2-1-2, 5-2-1-2. And hopefully I'll be finishing with the 5. I have more of these. I have 4 skeins of this. I have that will be added to it. I have 2 skeins of white, which will be my 1 in between each sequence. And here it is right here. And that's the mainstay white. And I also have the mainstay red. So this is my colorway. I'm going to have the red, white, and the all-in-one flower power. That's going to make my donation blanket. So yay, go me. I got it started. And guys, honestly, when I show you, it's nothing but double crochets and half double crochets. I got this done. This is 200 stitches across. So I got this done. Thank you. But I got this done in like an hour and 15 minutes. Now, I'm not saying that anybody else should do this. I do crochet kind of fast. Not very, very fast, but kind of fast. So, but what I'm saying is it doesn't take long to work it up at all. If you want to make it in squares, it takes no time at all. This is the swatch that I did. And it took, I have to push all of these back through. They pushed through to the other side. Confused the daylights out of me last night when I was showing it. But this is the swatch of it. And it works up really, really quickly. Once you get the first row done, your first set of shells done, you don't even have to really count anymore. Everything kind of falls into place as to where your stitches go. You have the option of stabilizing these shells by connecting them, or you can leave them open to give you a little more texture. As I said last night, I don't recommend this for a baby, simply because of the holes and the getting tangled up in them. But for a child on up, absolutely gorgeous. When I first did it, I was thinking about bordering a piece that I did. I don't know if you can't see this completely covered, but my January 7-inch square blanket, I was considering using this as a border for that. And it was just going to be a 4-round border, but it was too busy. The blanket itself, being that I'm using all my scraps, was extremely colorful. I used 4 different style squares, and it was just too much. It was just too much. And I didn't want to take away from, I just didn't want to take away from what was there. I used the thermal half double crochet square. I used my mermaid tail square. I used I forgot what I called it. Cluster buck. This is my cluster buck. And I also used my crop circles. So those were the 4 squares that were used in that blanket. And you can imagine each square is a different color. They're positioned. I did manage to get them positioned the way I wanted them. It's 49 squares, guys. 49 squares. So that's a lot to look at. So I just decided to make a very simple half double crochet first round, and the second round it was half double crochet chain 3, half double crochet chain 3. So that's what I did. Thank you, Michael. That's what I did for the border. And I think the simple border made the blanket itself stand out so much more. It is so pretty. I am going to donate them. I am. If my kids don't snatch them up first. Yeah. I'm sure y'all know how that goes. Now, my C2C blankets, my corner to corner blanket, that I'm just using excess scraps for, it has gone nowhere. I have not had time this week to add anything to it because I've not had any extra. I've been jumping from project to project because I wanted to touch everything, but that's not one that I was able to touch. I told you about the Carpenter's wheel. I was not able to work on it yesterday, but I have told myself that I have to do 3 squares a day. And if you remember, I had to resize my squares because the original squares were too big. They're going to be 8 of these going across. So I had to size down and make them smaller. And I have to do that for each one. I had made 16 of those squares, guys. So yeah, I had to size down. You can see it's a considerable difference. Yeah. But it's happening. And just so you can see what the colorway is going to be for this blanket, this is the colorway. I think that's absolutely beautiful. I mean, this in itself. Hello, Hadesha. How are you, my love? But I think it just reminds me of a box of crayon. I just see the big fat crayons that I used to work with when I was a kid. Probably because it's the primary colors. Okay, the Blanche progress. I showed you that already. That's the one that I'm working on with Jax. Now, what's supposed to happen after you do your foundation row in your first round? You're supposed to start adding baubles. This I'm considering wearing. I don't want baubles up here. So I'm just doing half double crochet and I'm incorporating my colorway. And of course, I don't know why I have to be different. When it came to the second row of my new color, of course, I gave it that mesh appeal. Yeah. Half double crochet, chain one, half double crochet, chain one. I did that. I did that. That's because I would need some ventilation, guys. I need some ventilation. I'm postmenopausal. So we still go through the hot moments. But what I have learned is age has taught me that there is such a temperature as cold. Usually this time of year is my time of year. When I went to the store this morning, I had on this shirt, a sweatshirt, my crochet just for me cardigan, and my insulated poncho. Yes, I did. And when I went, and I didn't have the poncho on at first, I went to the store. I always say to be different, go outside. Of course, you have to. You have to. That's the definition of being unique. And even though that's not in my name, my mom told me when I was a little girl that I have always marched to my own beat. My mom tried hard to get me to play the clarinet, so I played the flute. And then when my flute got stolen, I played the tenor sax. And then when I got bored with that, I played the timpani drums. But I had a piano at home that I couldn't play. Now, my Taco Tuesday progress. Blankets. Everything that I'm doing just about is using scraps, with the exception of a few things. You saw the Stitcherhood. Remember that a pattern just like a menu at a restaurant. It's very much yes, yes, yes. That's like when you order a steak. You have several different ways that you can get that steak. Yeah, of course, of course. Um, a stuffed baked potato with no cheese, although mine has to have cheese on it. Well, a lot of people get it with no bacon. So I'll say it like that, no bacon. I gotta have bacon. I was raised in the country. I very on the farm, had my own pigs and cows and chickens. Hmm. And we didn't have gardens, we had fields. Yeah. First vehicle I learned how to drive was a tractor. Very country. I guess that's why I say, okay, a lot. So, like I said, I'm using my scraps pretty much for everything. When I redid my yarn area, when I grow up, I'm gonna have a yarn wall. But for right now, I have a yarn area. When I redid that area, I realized that I had more red than anything. And with this being February, I told myself that as much as possible, I am going to be using red in my makes for this month. Even if I don't go through all my red, at least I'll get it down to control. I'm looking right now. I have 3 big balls of the Big Twist Value Plus, Pound Plus. You know that one. I have 3 of those staring at me. And then I've got the Burgundy Karen 1 pound. I've got 1, 2, 3 skeins of the Mainstay. I'm looking at the little balls from Dollar Tree. I got a whole Folgers box full of red in one and ruby in the next one. So that's 30 different balls of red. I got a lot of red, guys. I got a lot of red. So yeah, y'all will be seeing a lot of red coming from me this month. However, one project that I didn't mention and that I didn't show you, I told myself that I had to get started and get going with it. And that was the extra wide scarf that I was making for the gentleman over at Walmart. I made him a scarf and he fell in love with it. And he is just so super sweet. He is really, really sweet. And he's one of the greeters. And he shows his appreciation in that scarf. And he said, I asked him, I said, is there anything else that you would want? And he said, I'd like a wider scarf, something that would go around my shoulders. He said, but I wanted, to look masculine. So I decided to make him a wide scarf. The colorways that I'm using are Premier. I know I'm using the purple, and I don't know the Just Yarn Ombre. Violet Ombre. So this is what it's looking like. And what I'm doing is 30 in the purple and 20 in the ombre. And I'm going to add pockets down at the bottom. They're going to be ombre pockets. But this is going to be long enough to go around him and where he'll have access to his pockets as well. So I've not been idle. I promise you, I have not been idle. I've been very, very, very busy. And yeah, this has been my day. Okay, and also hats. Hold on. I think you all met Henrietta. The last time you saw Henrietta, I think she had on a cat hat. And I think it was in the rainbow colors, like the soft pastel rainbow colors. Thank you, Michael. I hope he does. I really hope he does. So this is one of my models, and I love her. But she has a twin sister. Her twin sister's a little plain. We did convince her twin sister to put on a little lipstick. So this is her twin sister. This is Henrietta, and this is Harrietta. And these are Henrietta and Harrietta Headington. Yes, I was a Bridgerton fan when I had Netflix. I no longer have Netflix. So she's wearing another cat hat. And the hats that I have made are the cat hats and the puppy hats. Pete, can you bring me your puppy hat, please? Yes. So can you bring me your puppy hat, please? Okay. I've been making a lot of cat hats. I have to make a second puppy hat. I got that ordered today. And I've been making a lot of ruffle hats. So this is the puppy hat. This is the puppy hat. Isn't it cute? Don't lean on that, baby. Isn't that so cute? I asked my grandson, I said, what kind of hat do you want? And he said, a doggy hat. And I was like, Grandma can't make a doggy hat. Grandma can make anything she puts her mind to. And I think he already knew that. So I made him a floppy ear doggy hat. Here you go, baby. You can go put that back up. Thank you. So yes, these have been flying off the hook, out the door, off the heads of my ladies. The cute thing about my ladies, I have to show you, she was the first one to be made up, of course. And my grandson said to me, "Give her a mole like mine." My grandson's mole is on his left cheek, and mine is by my left eye. So I had to give her a mole. Well, being that these ladies are twins, I had to give Harrietta a mole as well. Now, on the opposite side of the nose, Harrietta has a blue nose ring, and Henrietta has a green nose ring. So the creativity is just flowing, y'all. It really is. Y'all, I feel super good today. I think getting out this morning in the cold and getting out of this apartment actually did me good. I really do. And every time that happens, I tell myself, I got to get out more. I got to get out more. And then it's 3 or 4 more days stuffed in the apartment. But I really think that I'm going to make an extra effort to get up and get out more. I really do. Um, as I told you before, I'm not going to keep you long today. As you see, I have a lot to do. I have pulled everything onto my bed. So as I complete things, and the way I'm doing it, fresh air is great and beneficial mentally and physically. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Every time I learn that, though, it's like I forget it the next day when I wake up. It's like I go to sleep and go to La La Land, and everything I learned the day before just goes away. But because, those of you who have followed me on my medical journey, one thing I would love to tell you, you know that I have been fighting with my insurance for 4 years. I fought with one insurance company for 2 years, a little more than 2 years, like 2.5 years, and we never could get everything together. I have Medicare and Medicaid, so that means that I have the dual plan with the Advantage company. Um, because of my mobility issues, I, yes, yes, I am. Hey, sis, how are you? I'm so happy you're here. Um, because of my mobility issues, I qualify for an in-home nurse. I cook. I love to cook, but I can't. I'm very limited as to what I can do in the kitchen because I have to sit down to do things. It doesn't keep me from doing what I can, but I know that for safety issues, I don't want to put me or my family at risk by doing something that I know that I can't do. So I went through the home assessment from social services, got approved, got all the paperwork, and everything went nowhere. I was calling these people every week. Guys, I've been on the phone with these insurance company literally every week. Joan can tell you for like 4 years. This has happened, and what has finally happened, to make a long story short, I switched insurance companies year before last in November. And they did the same thing. Social services came out, approved me, and then they had the in-home nurse to come out. Well, here we are. Um, oh, I feel that. I love cooking, but not yes, yes. Anyone in that do not. Yes. Why not? Why you don't trust Panda to cook? I need to understand. You might have to email me, Michael, and tell me why you won't let Panda cook. Or why you don't trust anything that Panda cooks. But I went through the in-home assessment, passed that, got all my paperwork in the mail, and then I got a letter saying that someone from LTSS was going to be reaching out to me because Panda can't. but he loves you. Okay, now see, I can stand up long enough to scramble an egg. I can do that. I can, I can definitely do that. I can make egg and cheese sandwiches. But to ask me to make the whole breakfast, if I could have the bar stool in the usually my grandkids, y'all are great. My grandkids are dynamic. This morning when I got back from the store and I told them, that we had groceries coming in before the groceries came in, we went in and we had breakfast and I had oodles and noodles. I had what I wanted, which was oodles and noodles, and they had jelly toast, buttered toast with jelly and something that they enjoy. But I think they enjoy being in the kitchen with grandma and literally helping. It's not like being with someone who's able to stand up and do it themselves. Yeah, yeah. Hello, my Stitch twin. Oh my goodness, y'all make me so happy. When I come in this live and I see y'all, it just brightens up my day. And as you know, like I said, my day has been pretty bright anyway. But to see you all in here just makes me smile and more. See, the cheeks are already starting. I can't stop smiling. Oh my goodness. Yes, you're right. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. But when they're in the kitchen with their mom, she limits them as to what they can do. My grandkids are 8 and 10. Okay, my 10-year-old is autistic, but very verbal, and she's only level 2. And she has her duties and responsibilities in the kitchen. Like she puts up the pots and pans and lids. She puts up the cookware, and she makes my coffee from the Keurig. And that counter, that space, she keeps the cabinet, the lower shelf in the cabinet stays full of water to keep the Keurig full. And that cabinet is hers. The pots and pans and lids go underneath. The drawer has the smaller cookware in it, and the bins over to the side have the larger ones in it. And of course, the water's in the cabinet. My grandson, on the other hand, who's shorter, and they didn't understand why I had one doing one and one doing the other until I explained it to him. But he has the dinnerware and, well, pretty much the dinnerware, but he pretty much does everything else. So when it comes to making my coffee, my granddaughter, like I said, has the Keurig counter. My grandson gets the pot for me to heat my creamer up in, and he does that part. He's working around her from the refrigerator to the stove. And it excites them. All I say is when they hear me coming up front, he'll run out the room first. He's like, "What can I help you do, Grandma?" And I'm like, "We're gonna make coffee." And then both of them may get up and come in the kitchen and immediately go to what they have to do. One reason I do it the way I do it, like I said, my grandson is shorter and they're both very tall for their age. But with my granddaughter being autistic, she's learning um, things like above, below, beside, around, directional things. And she's also learning to pile the dishes up in order from the largest to the smallest instead of just putting them in there. It's the same thing with the lids, the big lid in the back. And then as they get smaller or as they, go down in size, then as they regress, okay, they come more to the front. And there's a bin. I have a bin that they go in. So all the lids are in the back and pushed to the back, and all the pans and pots are up front, and they sit one in another. So to, help her on that journey and keep her going. And then the cookware, we got all the strange cookware, like the tongs, the grill forks, the extra long pieces are in the blue bin. All spoons and scoops are in the red bin. And of course, the water in her cabinet. She also does the baking pans because they go right under the sink area off to the side, and the muffin pans and the pizza pans. They go over under the Silverware. I do the silverware. It's easy. Take them from the dish drainer, put them in the drawer. They're right there. But they each have their duties and responsibilities, and it just makes them feel so good. So because the toaster is on the Keurig counter, then I let Oompa do the toast. So she does the toast along with everything else. And then, of course, Pete will get the jelly out of the refrigerator. I'll grab the spoon because I like to spread it with the spoon. I'll grab the spoon out of the drawer, and it just looks like the wheels in a clock, the way we work together. And the fact that they're so enthusiastic about helping grandma makes it so much easier for me. And it just, when we had our little snack, just before, because the groceries came, everybody again, just like clockwork. Okay. I was like, I can't snap, but I got it. But just like clockwork, everybody was just in place. They pulled the groceries in from the front, unloaded all the bags, sat them on the counter, and waited for my directions to tell them which way they needed to go. And everybody put everything up, and they saw the ice cream and the peanuts. Yes, we had strawberry ice cream and peanuts. It was okay. You're very lucky to have a willing family, right? Yes, yes. It's a teaching opportunity, and you're using it to teach them, even if they don't know it. But they do know. They do know. Part of the reason they know is because they earn a paycheck at the end of every week. And in the hello, Tina, how are you? So happy you made it. But they get a paycheck at the end of every week. And out of their paycheck, they have to pay rent, they have to pay utilities, and they have to pay for their initial grocery order. If they want anything special, if there's a toy that they see they want, and guys, it's not real money, and it's not even monopoly money. It's money that I made out of construction paper. But I take taxes out of it. They know that they have to save a certain amount a week, and once they save up a certain amount in their money, it'll turn into real money. And whatever they have to do, like if they want Wendy's, let's say, then do you have money for it? And if there's nothing in their little savings bag for it, they don't get Wendy's. We cook around here. I don't care if it's just popping a burrito in the microwave or the Tostitos. We cook. We cook. And it's not a lot of eating out. When we first moved here, yes, it was. We were trying to get acclimated, but we're there now. And we make it happen here in the house. We eat a lot of salads, a lot of vegetables, and a lot of wholesome meats. My daughter is trying to take me off of pork. Like I said, y'all, I raised cows and pigs, even ducks and chickens. I grew up on the farm. I tell her all the time, good luck with that. Let me tell you something else that happened. So last week, she wanted to surprise her mama and bring her something really delicious for lunch, one of the eat out days. And she went to this restaurant that we have called Chick Basti. Y'all, she bought me some chicken gizzards. If you know, you know. It was the day that I was on the phone with the insurance company, and I had to apologize to them. Y'all, I had been on the phone with them from 11:30 that day to about almost 5:30 that night. And I finally had to say to them, I apologize, but my lunch, dinner, whatever you want to call it this year, and I have to eat. Those gizzards were the best. They were absolutely the best. So, yeah. But yeah, when I didn't learn economics coming up, I had an allowance. And I was very spoiled. Whenever I went out with my grandparents and my mom and my aunt, I would point out, are we talking about Portsmouth, Virginia, Michael? Hmm. And if we are, when? I'm from Portsmouth. I'm From we moved to Hampton almost 6 years ago from Portsmouth, Virginia. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yes, the food that Mosbert's was my place to get chicken gizzards. Yes, Mosbert's was my place to get chicken gizzards and fry basket. I'm not sure if you heard of those places. One of my favorite restaurants in downtown Portsmouth. I'm not sure when you were here, Michael, but Roger Brown's. I used to work next door at that Dollar General. I was the assistant manager there. So, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You were right under my nose. I was stationed. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It was, wow. I used to bowl at the Naval Hospital. Roger Brown's did have amazing food. My favorite thing there was the crab cake sandwich. And I'd always get it with the side of greens and a glass of sweet tea. Uh-huh. But I can tell you, my very first experience at Roger Brown's was not a good one. It really wasn't. But I had chicken, and I guess everybody loves hard fried chicken. I don't. I never have. And I ended up breaking 2 teeth. I ended up breaking 2 teeth on the chicken. And I wasn't happy about it. And I went back and I talked to Roger Brown. He was not a very nice man. But I remained myself and, just talked to him. I said, look, your food is very tasty. It really, really is. And I love the atmosphere here, but this is what happened. And he goes, well, maybe you need to go see a dentist. Well, that's going to happen anyway. But in the meantime, in between time, so he took care of the meal for me. And I was happy with that. I never have been, that greedy person, except when I was spoiled as a child. Like I was telling y'all, I had my little allowance. I had the piggy bank that was so stuffed we couldn't get anything else in it. It had coins and paper in it. And then I had this metal box that looked like a briefcase, which was a piggy bank. It was full of nothing but dollar pieces and 50-cent pieces. And whenever we would go out, me and my grandparents, me and my mom, me and my aunt and uncle, they paid. I said I wanted, and I didn't get everything I wanted, just most of it. But what they taught me was if I wanted so mmany things, then I would have to be able to support those things myself. They never wanted me to ask anything from anybody. They wanted me to be self-sufficient. They raised my cousin the same way. And that's the way he and I are. When we find ourselves in a bit of a struggle, and sometimes we have to reach out for help. When I tell y'all, I have to pray over it. For a long time, every weekend we would take, yes, from Portsmouth to Norfolk, MacArthur Mall. Now, my favorite restaurant over there was Il Porto too. I love their shrimp linguine. I absolutely love their shrimp linguine. I got a story for over there too. So I was pregnant with my first son, and my then husband and I were walking to the ferry port. I believe that's what you call it. Anyway, we're walking down the little pier, and I was craving the salt and vinegar fries. So I had this big bucket of fries from inside MacArthur Mall, and I took one out, and a seagull came and snatched that fry out of my hand. And goals came from everywhere. I put my fries under. I was mean. I was a mean pregnant lady because I put my fries under my shirt, and that seagull didn't have the sense enough to get off the pier, and I snatched my fry out of his mouth. My husband said, "I know you didn't do that." Yes, I did. He didn't pay for these. I didn't eat it, of course, but I didn't want him to think he could just come snatch it. And I turned around and looked at my husband and said, "He didn't ask for it. The rest of them look like they're at least asking. He didn't." Yes. I know when you're not from a place, but at the same time, when we moved here to Hampton, I felt like I was in, I feel like an alien here because I don't know anybody except my oldest daughter, and that's it. It's just my little family right here. Well, I had been in Portsmouth for so long that everybody there became family. As a matter of fact, Michael, when you were stationed at the Naval Hospital, I was a cab driver. Yep, I was dispatching Monday through Friday from 11 to 7 overnight at Safeway Cab Company right there on Chestnut. Yep, Norfolk area is on the short list of place. I know that's right. Looking to move. Okay, okay. They're right next door to each other. Oh my goodness. Portsmouth, the downtown area of Portsmouth, like Old Town. Um, oh, I forgot the name of that little place right there by the Naval Hospital. But that area is really, really nice. I lived more, I guess, a little more southwest of there. I lived, I lived like right beside 264, just before hitting the first section of Chesapeake. Yeah. When I left there, I was actually working in Chesapeake over in Greenbrier at the Courtyard by Marriott. I was the front desk clerk over there. Yep. But it's nice to hear people or run into people, even that you don't know, when you talk about things and places and they know what you're talking about. They know exactly what you're talking about, and it just feels so good. It feels good to share my experiences with you all, but to have someone here to actually, like I said, know what I'm speaking of and the landmarks that I say things about. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I know. I've been there," or whatever. It's like, yay! It just feels so good. I used to be a runner. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday would run from the gate to the hospital. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think. Was the Renaissance there? Yeah, the Renaissance was there then. So the Holiday Inn was gone. There used to be where the Circle restaurant is, between the Circle restaurant and the Renaissance. I think the name of those apartments are the Admirals. There was a restaurant back there called the Seawall Inn. This is to tell you how spoiled I was. My mom used to take me there as a little girl, and my meal of choice was a garden salad and a steak Diane with a baked potato. You say steak Diane to a lot of people now, and they're like, "What is that?" But I got to see the flames on the steak right by the table. And then before the Renaissance was there, it was a Holiday Inn. And there's a marina right beside it. And upstairs of the marina was a restaurant called The Deck. We ate there a lot as well. It was my first experience with a crab cake. But inner Portsmouth, close to where I lived, the best place to get fried crabs was Wickers. And then Wickers went out of business, and some people from the Philippines, I never got to know their name. I assume one was named Tony because the name of the place was Tony's. Y'all, they had the best crab egg rolls. And the best devil crabs and the best fried crabs. Eateries in Portsmouth, fabulous. I mean, even the fast food restaurants, it was a different place there, and living there, we come over here and do a lot of comparing. I felt like I was silenced when I moved here because living in Portsmouth, a lot of the people there are not from there. And the vast majority of those not there are from North Carolina. And that's where I was raised. So it's a family feel around there. And I don't mind telling you, man, I know, I know, I know. Virginia Beach, Suffolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Norfolk, Newport News, and where I am, Hampton. Yep, yep, I am on the peninsula. That little piece sticking out. Yes, and right up the road from Williamsburg, right up the road from Busch Gardens. Yeah, Busch Gardens and Water Country. Yeah, my two favorite spots. And then not too far from King's Dominion. So I'm saying. But Portsmouth it was a family feel. Where I lived, it was the highest, and I know it's going to sound bad, but it was the highest gang population in hated being stationed in North Carolina. Oh, yeah, I know. Camp Lejeune, yuck. Just to be able to join in here, say, it's the truth. I live in Portsmouth. Really? Really? What part? What part? But I lived in Cavalier Manor, and it was the biggest gang area in Virginia. And but as long as you were respectful to people, you had no problems. My first pride went to Pride Day at Busch Gardens. Yes, yes. Pride Park literally dead outside. Okay, okay. But yeah, um, we lived in our area and we were so respectful to people around us that lots of times those same bad people, I won't say the name again, would often ask, if they were going to the store, it was nothing to get a knock on the door. Hey, I'm going to the store. You want anything? You need anything? And that was the feel throughout. As long as you didn't come into they said that Portsmouth has the highest crime of any city. First of all, it's the smallest of the 7 cities. Fort Bragg. Okay, so they're just like North Carolina. Yes, yes. Um, my son graduated boot camp at what they say, Relaxing Jackson. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, he graduated boot camp. Y'all, I almost got arrested by the Secret Service. I am a mother first. And when my son graduated boot camp and they told everybody, family, come get your soldier, I did not recognize my son. My son was half the size he was when he left. And he had on these big, thick scientist glasses. And I did not know him. And I heard someone say, Mama, you know, and I turned around and I cried. I cried because he did not look healthy. Because of his, I think they call it ASVAB, as whatever that entrance exam is that you do, because of his scoring, he got to pick any MO he wanted. So the MO he wanted required a pretty high level of clearance. So he got to sit close to the president's table. And President Bush was asking everybody about how they felt and, you know, what was the experience like. It was just a few of us sitting close to him. And my son stood up and introduced me and my mother. And he said, so Mom, how do you feel about it? I said, I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. You took our babies. You know, you're taking our babies over there. These are still our babies. And ooh. We call those glasses BC, aka birth control, because they are turn off. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It is so great that the conversation has gone this way. Because I just called my son earlier today. Oh boy, many of you remember my son is in San Antonio, Texas. Oh gracious. Oh, don't get me started on when I stood up and told, I can call him George now, what I felt, how I was feeling, how unfair I thought it was, and the people that they could have sent over there. You know, I'm like, you know, there are a bunch of people who don't intend to do society good who would be happy to go over there, you know, and he said, Mom, and I was like, no, it's not fair. It really, and I felt myself escalating. And when I turned around to look, I had four of these big guys standing around me. And I was like, I'm over here. He's over there. Why are you over here? I was a little bit confrontational, just a little. I didn't call him out of his name, but I did tell him what was on my mind. I did. I felt good being able to tell him that as well. And he kept saying, no, 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 she's fine. No, 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 she's fine. No, 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 she's fine. And when he got to the point, he said, but you have to understand. I said, no, I don't. I don't have to understand anything. I really don't. I don't have to understand anything. I don't understand it, and I choose to continue not to understand it because it doesn't make sense to me. It just does not make sense to me. You know, if I have not said it before, Michael, I'm saying it now. Thank you for your sacrifice. You and Panda. Thank you. And your husband too, Lori. Thank you all. Anybody who served in the military or is still serving or has someone who's serving or has served. Thank you all for your sacrifice, not only for your service, but your sacrifice, the birthdays, the holidays, the special events that you all had to miss, just the time away period, you know, and the things that you all were exposed to and had to come back and try to live a life that society calls normal. You know, my heart goes out to you wholeheartedly, for real and true. I Hmm. I love each and every one of you, and I thank you. I, I sincerely thank you. Ooh, okay. Ah, ah, as of last year. Okay, okay. I love y'all too. BB, how are you, love? Mm. The closest I came, I wanted to go into the Army in my early 30s. And I had gotten to the biggest I had ever been in my life. I got up to 390 pounds. And I lost down to 198 pounds. And then I got in a car accident and I couldn't walk for a while. And the weight just started piling on. And then there was a pregnancy after that that was not successful. And then the pooch started. This oversized penis came. You know, yeah, yeah. But and then a little later on, about the time that you were over here, Michael, I was also working at the shipyard. I was working at the naval shipyard. I was a front desk clerk over there. Yep, I was a front desk clerk over there. But guys, I have exceeded my time. I have loved this. I have absolutely loved every single moment of this. Please check out those square tutorials. There is one that has an extension to it because I was, alerted that you couldn't see the camera positioning was not right. So I did go back in and put an addendum to that, so it would explain it. But there are 9 squares out there for you to play around with, and see what you come up with for February. I'm still doing this every month. I'm going to put out a blanket with the squares that I feature for that month. Like I said, you can take one square and turn it into a big blanket. You can make a bunch of 7-inch squares with that one square. You can do 2. You can do 3. You can do all 4. However big you choose to make the blanket. I'm going for 49 by 49 with a border. And I can't promise this month that I'm going to use all the squares. Where I said I was going to use that beautiful piece that I created, and now I can't find it. But this one, where I said I was going to make it into where I was going to use it in a square. I don't want this in the middle of a square. This is my Stitcherhood blanket. That's what this is for me. But he's been parachute right here. Of course, it doesn't sound wrong, Lori. But I wanted to make this into a blanket, and the one thing I can tell you that I'm doing is that I am utilizing my reds as I am utilizing my reds as I promised. The pinwheel is one that I'm doing. Um, I forgot what I called this one, but it's a bunch of baubles. I think, what did I call it? Puffin stuff, I think it was. And then I showed you the corner to corner, and then the 2 that I showed you last night, which was the gated garden and the shells by the bay. So those were the 4 that I showed you this month, along with recapping the corner to corner. And yeah, honestly, I think my blanket this month is going to consist of these 2. I really do. I really do. I like the pinwheel, guys. I like it, but I love this one. And Michael, if you don't know the history behind this one, I literally created this in my sleep. Every time I woke up, I thought of a new element and I got up and added it. And then I went back to sleep. And it's nothing but double crochets. It's nothing. It's 3 rounds of a granny square. And then it's double crochet around the next one, but it's back post double crochet, except in the spaces, it's a regular double crochet. And then the next round is all back posts, double crochet except the corners. And then just round it out with the double crochet. Yeah. So I think those are the ones that I'm going to do for this month. I might go back and recap my crop circles for March. I see this in green, pink, yellow, and blue. I don't know why, but I do. I see this in pastels. So I'm thinking about this one to recap this one for March and probably do the pinwheel again. And a couple of others. Y'all know about I know it doesn't look like a square. I'm still trying to figure out how to turn this into a square. I have figured out how to connect them because they only connect on the sides, but I'm still working with turning this into a square. As soon as I figure this out, I will get this out to y'all. And this one is what I call bursting petals. I absolutely love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I think April is probably going to be just this for me. And I've already started making mine and putting them together. So that's what I got for April. A couple of the other ones, if you haven't seen them, this is another one that I did. And I think that's it. Nope. This is the one I've been trying. I want to turn into the 12-inch square. Yeah. That's the one I want to turn into the 12. Y'all see this right here? Isn't that cute? It looks like a cup. And my daughter says, you know what? You can use that as a candle holder because it's got the little ridge there. And I was like, you're absolutely right. But this is going to be in somebody's blanket. This is 3 worsted weight that I've used as a DK weight. And I know that if I use worsted, that it will be bigger. Because this right now is 8.5 inches. It connects at the corners, which will leave this space free. So it'll be kind of loose and airy. But yeah, this is another one that I'm working on. So I am staying busy, guys. But in the meantime, in between time, I want you all to always remember to love yourself because self-love is the greatest love of all. And you can't love others the way they deserve to be loved unless you love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. And you deserve the best. Remember that Kitty Lane told you. Remember, Kitty Lane loves you. So until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.